Silent. He has Apple Inc. and he will start us off.
Okay, so first we will learn a little bit of history of Apple. So it started by two guys named Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, in 1976. And pretty much a rundown of this rundown is they started off with their first Apple, but their second Apple computer was their big hit, and it brought a lot of revenue in and brought a lot of profits in. And as the company began to grow, and as business continued to get bigger, Wozniak ended up leaving because he didn't want to do the day-to-day jobs that comes with running the business. And as a result, Steve Jobs brought another guy in, and a lot of things happened where that process didn't work out, so Steve Jobs left. And long story short, Steve Jobs ended up getting bought back into Apple just to become the CEO again and saving Apple as we know it. So that's a little bit of history of Apple. Now we can go into Apple's foundation. Can I have somebody read the first paragraph, which is the mission statement for Apple?
I do it.
Yeah.
Apple designs Macs, the best personal computers in the world, along with OS X, iLife, iWork, and professional software. Apple leads the digital music revolution with its iPods and iTunes online stores. Apple has reinvented the mobile phone with its revolutionary iPhone and App Store, and is defining the future of mobile media and computing devices with iPad.
Okay. So with that, like I said, that was the mission. And when I was doing research for this part of the project, it was an article that came up, and it was talking about, like, was this actually a mission? So I want to have that question asked to you guys. So how would you guys define a mission statement for any company? Any answer? What's that? You got an answer?
Me?
Yeah.
I never knew you.
No.
Oh. What they
I was thinking this. I was like, wait. Sorry.
what they want to do, or what the company wants to do, or plan on doing.
Okay, what they plan on doing? How we feel about that definition? Y'all like it?
I feel good about it.
You feel good about it? Yeah. So, how do y'all feel about this mission to that definition of a mission statement? Do y'all feel like this is a good mission statement? Yes, no, maybe?
No. Maybe not really.
Yeah, I don't think so. And that was the, well, can I ask why?
Based upon my research of my own company, well, the company that I'm researching, our mission statement is something that is universally known about our company if you were to like research it and really immerse yourself into it. Whereas here it seems as if Apple is, I wouldn't say bragging on themselves, but it's kind of like reaffirming what they have done recently.
Yeah, and that was the whole point of the article that I was reading. It was saying that it was pretty much talking about what they do. It wasn't really a mission statement. It wasn't really what the overall like value of the company is. And that was just something to kind of think about when reading the mission statement. Now, can somebody read the second paragraph, which is the vision?
We believe that we are on the face of the earth to make great products, and that's not changing. We are constantly focusing on innovating.
How do y'all feel about that vision statement?
It's good.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of deep. So we can go right along. These are a few jobs and how much they make, with also the employee number. But something that I really want to talk about, and it's my responsibility, I didn't get this on the slide, my bad, but it's the education. And it's not just about going to school and getting a bachelor's degree or going to college and getting a certain degree in a certain major. However, one thing that stuck out to me with a lot of these bigger companies was the experience that was needed in order to get the job. And a lot of times, some of those experiences, like 8 years in the field for what they're trying to get. And that kind of amazed me, and that kind of was something that stuck out to me, was how much experience you have to have. And the reason why I feel like they have to have so much experience is because Apple is so big and it's so popular, and they want to be great so bad. Not like they're not great, but they want to continue to be great. that they're not just going to let anybody just come in and, you know, mess what they already have going for them. And as a result, they're going to limit that by only allowing people that already had experience, because experience is the greatest teacher. So in order to have the greatest learners, you got to get taught by the greatest teacher, which is experience. So now we can go on to.
And as you can see, with the company and the salaries, we are basically promoting the employees. And we have a little video for you to watch. And if you pay attention closely, you will see the customers that are in the back, cheering along the crowd, welcoming them. And this basically just gives you a sense of the environment that Apple gives off, just to show how they support their own company and how they are there to basically build up the company that they work for. Okay. Within Apple Inc., and we are now going into the company challenges. So a couple company challenges that we seen were coming up with the next big thing is hard. And I'm sure all companies face this, but since Apple is such a huge company and it is continuously thriving, this is a big one. So the next one would be a challenge in leadership. Apple is constantly making new products and they remain at the top of their scale. So this is just something that they would struggle with, especially with the loss of their founder, Steve Jobs. The next one would be the economy challenge. So what do you guys think that the economy challenge will mean? Anyone?
Living up to demands and expectations.
Yes, that is in the ballpark. That is actually pretty close. So you basically just want to maintain up there with everyone else and basically producing a well amount of money.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Go back one. Would you explain inelastic demand? Why that demand is inelastic?
Because it is continuously coming. Oh, it is a continuous need for these products, and they just want to continue to build on them.
Okay. You want to try again?
Well, if that is incorrect, then I honestly.
I don't mean incorrect. I mean elastic demand means it expands, and inelastic demands mean there is a finite demand that's never going to grow. Under the economics challenge, I'm not exactly sure where you're going with that.
Well, if it's never going to grow, then that means the demand is so specific and it can get so detailed, especially with a company like Apple, then that demand can kind of make things kind of troubling sometimes.
Okay, go ahead.
Next, we have the accomplishments and awards. First, Apple turned 41 years old this year in April, which is pretty big because that just gives you a sense of how long they have been around, which some of us, well, most of us in here, we aren't that old, so we wouldn't actually know. Okay, Apple's first smartphone was created 10 years ago, the iPhone. Siri won everyone's heart in 2011, just as the cloud became something essential to the people with iCloud, which most people just basically think they need in their life. It's become a necessity. They were named the brand of the year in 2013, which is pretty big, being a technology company. Has sold over 500 million iPhones, and Apple actually won an Emmy for their innovative Apple TV. Within Apple Inc., interesting facts and current news. Apple became the first $700 billion company. China is Apple's second biggest market, following the United States. It cost $666.66 to build the first Apple computer. Apple opens Everyone Can Code initiative to students around the world. And this basically was something that just helps college students get a better chance at life. So by this they show that they do care about their people and the people that are actually buying their products. Hackers claim to be iPhone X's Face ID in 1 week. And some of us may know that the new iPhone that just recently came out is the iPhone X or iPhone 10, and this iPhone no longer opens with a Touch ID of your fingerprint. It only uses the Face ID. And apparently hackers have claimed that they will automatically hack this system. Okay, now we are on to our SWOT analysis. We basically thought to keep it simple and straight to the point, so we only have one per per letter. So with strengths, we have amazing advertisement abilities. And with this, Skyline, could you?
So pretty much with the amazing advertisement abilities, we talk about how A, it's easy to advertise Apple, and B, it's easy to advertise with Apple. So that's a strength for not only the consumer, but for the business as well, because everybody likes Apple. Most everybody uses Apple, and it's real easy to, work with that.
Okay, with weaknesses, very dependent wholly on iPhone sales. And with this, they have many other devices, for example, Apple Watches, like I said, the Apple TV, iPods, MacBooks, tablets, these things, but they are solely focused on their iPhones. So this is a weakness for them, because one day it could just go downhill, which I wouldn't hope, but it could possibly happen. Okay, opportunities. They offer health-related apps and devices, and this, like on the Apple Watch, you can track your mileage on walking or the food you've eaten, calories, or things like that, which is something good for the public because it just shows Apple in a good site because it seems to care about their people. Threats, high risk of data breaches. With this,
So that it's a threat because, like we were talking about before, with hackers and they want to hack into Apple. Apple is so big, Apple is so popular that if you, and then it's a technology related business. So if you get into Apple, if you hack into the company that it is, then that can be extremely, extremely bad for the company as it is, because a lot of things that aren't supposed to come out may come out, or a lot of things that are supposed to be classified information that could potentially go into the wrong hands. Also, going for the consumers, that's extremely bad because a lot of their information could then be going to the public, and we don't want that to happen. And that's exactly why that's a threat for Apple Incorporated. And with that, we have that. So if you want to go to the
yeah. Are there any questions?
Yeah, let's ask a question.
Comments?
I have a question.